All right, today I'm going to be reading Genesis 22 to 24, and I'll also be reading Psalm 7. All right, Genesis 22, the offering of Isaac. Now it happened after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only one, whom you love, Isaac, and go forth to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I will tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took two of his young men with him and Isaac his son. And he split wood for the burnt offering and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. On the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from a distance. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey while I and the boy go over there, and we will worship, and we will return to you. Then Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and put it on Isaac his son, and he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So the two of them walked on together. Then Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb and the burnt offering? And Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. So the two of them walked on together. Then they came to a place of which God had told him. And Abraham built the altar there and arranged the wood and bound his son Isaac and put him on the altar on top of the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took a knife to slay his son. But the angel of Yahweh called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not stretch out your hand against the boy, and do nothing to him for now. I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only one, from me. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and saw, and behold, that there was a ram after it, after it had been caught in the thicket by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering in the place of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Yahweh will provide, as it is said this day. In the mount of Yahweh it will be provided. Then the angel of Yahweh called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, declares Yahweh, because you have done this thing, and have not spared your son, your only one. Indeed, I will greatly bless you, and I will greatly multiply your seed as the star of the heavens and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. In your seed, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have listened to my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and walked together to Beersheba, and Abraham lived at Beersheba. Now it happened after these things that it was told to Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah also has borne children to your brother Nahor, Uz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel was the father of Rebekah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Ruma, and also bore Teba and Gaham and Tahash and Makkah. All right, chapter 23, Sarah's death and burial. And Sarah lived. Ooh, it is blurring. Why is it blurring? Let me try to fix that real quick. All right. And Sarah lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Then Abraham rose from before his dead and spoke to the sons of Heth, saying, I am a sojourner and a foreign resident among you. Give me a possession for a burial site among you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the sons of Heth answered Abraham, saying to him, Hear us, my lord. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial sites. None of us will refuse you his burial sites for burying your dead. So Abraham rose and bowed to the people of the land, the sons of Heth, and he spoke with them, saying, If it is your desire for me to bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and meet with Ephron, the son of Zohar, for me, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which belongs to him, which is at the end of his field. For the full price, let him give it to me in your presence as a possession for a burial site. Now Ephron was sitting among the sons of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the sons of Heth, even of all who went at the gate of the city, saying, No, my lord, hear me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that is in it. In the sight of the sons of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead. Now Abraham bowed before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, If you will only please hear me, I will give you the silver for the field. Accept it from me, that I may bury my dead there. Then Ephron answered Abraham, saying to him, My lord, hear me. A piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between me and you? So bury your dead. So Abraham heard Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the silver, which he had named in the hearing of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, commercial standard. So Ephron's field, which was in Machpelah, which faced Mamre, the field and the cave which was in it, and all the trees which were in the field that were within the confines of its border were deeded over to Abraham as purchased in the sight of the sons of Heth, before all who came in at the gate of his city. After this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, facing Mamre, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave that is in it were deeded over to Abraham for a possession for a burial site by the sons of Heth. Chapter 24, A Wife for Isaac. Now Abraham was old, advanced in age, and Yahweh had blessed Abraham in every way. And Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his household, who ruled over all that he owned, please place your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by Yahweh, the God of heaven and the God of earth, that you shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I live, but you will go to my land and to my kin and take a wife for my son Isaac. And the servant said to him, suppose the woman is not willing to follow me to this land. Should I indeed take your son back to the land from where you came? Then Abraham said to him, beware, lest you take my son back there. Yahweh, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my kin, and who spoke to me and who swore to me, saying, to your seed I will give this land. He will send his angel before you, and you will take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be free from this oath of mine. Only do not take my son back there. So the servant placed his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. Uh, then the servant took 10 camels from the camels of his master, and he went with all kinds of good things of his master's in his hand. So he arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor, and he made the camels kneel down outside the city by the well of water at evening time, the time when the women go out to draw water, and said, O Yahweh, the God of my master Abraham, please cause this to happen before me today, and show loving kindness to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Now, may it be that the young woman to whom I say, please let down your jar so that I may drink. And she says, drink, and I will give water to your camels to drink also. May she be one whom you have decided for your servant Isaac. And by this I will know that you have shown loving kindness to my master. Rebekah goes with Abraham's servant. And before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Abraham's brother Nahor, was coming out of her jar on her shoulder. Now the young woman was very beautiful in appearance, a virgin, and no man had known her. And she went down to the spring and filled her jar and came up. Then the servant ran to meet her and said, please give me a little water to drink from your jar. And she said, drink, my lord. And she quickly lowered her jar to her hand, and gave him a drink. Now, when she had finished giving him a drink, she said, I will draw also for your camels until they have finished drinking. So she hurried and emptied her jar into the watering channel and ran again to the well to draw, and she drew for all his camels. Meanwhile, the man was gazing at her in silence to know whether Yahweh had made his journey successful or not. Now it happened that when the camels had finished drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing a half shekel and 2 bracelets for her wrists weighing 10 shekels in gold, and said, whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there a place for us to lodge in your father's house? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. And she said to him, we have plenty of both straw and feed, and a place to lodge in. Then the man bowed low and worshipped Yahweh. And he said, Blessed be Yahweh, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his loving kindness and his truth toward my master. As for me, Yahweh has guided me in the way to the house of my master's brothers. Then the young woman ran and told her mother's household about these things. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran outside to the man at the spring. Now, now it happened when he saw the ring and the bracelet on his sister's wrist, and when he heard the words of Rebekah, his sister, saying, This is what the man said to me. He came out to the man, and behold, he was standing by the camels at the spring. And he said, Come in, blessed of Yahweh. Why do you stand outside, since I have prepared the house and the place for the camels? So the man came into the house. Then Laban unloaded the camels, and he gave straw and feed to the camels, and and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. Then food was set before him to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have spoken my words. And he said, Speak. So he said, I am Abraham's servant, and Yahweh has greatly blessed my master. So he has become great. And he has given him flocks and herds, and silver and gold, and male slaves and female slaves, and camels and donkeys. Now Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master in her old age, and he had given him all that he has. And my master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanite, uh, in whose land I live, but you shall go to my father's house and to my family and take a wife for my son. Then I said to my master, Suppose the woman does not follow me. And he said to me, Yahweh before whom I have walked will send his angel with you and will make your journey successful. And you will take a wife for my son from my family and from my father's house. Then you will be free from my oath. When you come to my relatives, now if they do not give her to you, you will be free from my oath. So I came today to the spring and said, O Yahweh, the God of my master Abraham, if now you will make my journey on which I go successful. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and may it be that the maiden who comes out to draw, and to whom I say, Please let me drink a little water from your jar, and she will say to me, You drink, and I will draw for your camels also. She is the woman whom Yahweh has decided upon for my master's son. Before I had finished speaking in my heart, behold, Rebekah was coming out with her jar on her shoulder. And she went down to the spring and drew. And I said to her, Please give me a drink. Then she hurried and lowered her jar from her shoulder and said, Drink, and I will also give water to your camels to drink. So I drank, and she also gave water to the camels to drink. Then I asked her and said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, the daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. And I put a ring on her nose and the bracelet, the bracelets on her wrists. And I bowed low and worshipped Yahweh, and I blessed Yahweh, the God of my master Abraham, who had guided me in the true way to take the daughter of my master's relative for his son. So now, if you are going to show loving kindness and truth with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me that I may turn to the right or to the left. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the matter comes from Yahweh, so we cannot speak to you bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her be the wife of your master's son, as Yahweh has spoken. Now it happened that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he bowed himself to the ground before Yahweh. The servant brought out articles of silver and articles of gold and garments and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave precious things to her brother and to her mother. Then he and the men who were with him ate and drank and spent the night. And then they arose in the morning, and he said, send me away to my master. But her brother and her mother said, let the young woman stay with us a few days, or even 10, after she will go. And he said to them, do not delay me, since Yahweh has made my way successful. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, we will call the young woman and ask about her wishes. Then they called Rebekah and said to her, will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. Thus they sent away their sister Rebekah and her nurse with Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, may you, our sister, become thousands of 10,000s, and may your seed possess the gate of those who hate him. Then Rebekah arose with her young woman, and they mounted the camels and went after the man. So the servant took Rebekah and went. Rebekah becomes Isaac's wife. Now Isaac has come from going to Beer Lahai, for he was living in the land of Negev. And Isaac went out to muse in the field toward evening, and he lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted her eyes and saw Isaac and dismounted from her camel. Then she said to the servant, Who is this man walking in the field to meet us? And the servant said, he is my master. Then she took her veil and covered herself. And the servant recounted to Isaac all the things he had done. Then Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. All right, let's go to Psalms. All right. Oh man. Oh. Psalm 7. In you I have taken refuge. A Shiggaion of David, which he sang to Yahweh concerning the words of Cush, a Benjamite. O Yahweh, my God, in you I have taken refuge. Save me from those who pursue me, and deliver me, lest he tear my soul like a lion, rending me into pieces, while there is none to deliver. O Yahweh, my God, if I have done this, if there is injustice in my hands, if I have rewarded evil to him who is at peace with me, or have plundered my adversary without cause, Let the enemy pursue my soul and overtake it, and let him trample my life down to the ground and cause my glory to dwell in the dust. Selah. Arise, O Yahweh, in your anger, lift up yourself against the fury of my adversaries, and arouse yourself for me. You have appointed judgment. Let the congregation of the people encompass you, and over them return on high. Yahweh judges the peoples. Give justice to me, O Yahweh, according to my righteousness and my integrity that is in me. O let the evil of the wicked come to an end, but establish the righteous. For the righteous God tests the hearts and minds. My shield is with God, who saves the upright in heart. God is a righteous judge, and a God who has indignation every day. If a man does not repent, he will sharpen his sword. He will bent his bow and prepared it. He has also prepared for himself deadly weapons. He makes his arrows and fiery shafts. Behold, he travails with wickedness, and he conceives mischief and gives birth to falsehood. He has dug a pit and hollowed it out, and has fallen into the hole which he made. His mischief will return upon his own head, and his violence will descend upon his own skull. I will give thanks to Yahweh according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of Yahweh Most High. All right. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow.